Welcome everyone to this live training on Get Started with Microsoft Copilot. I am David, I am a CPA, and without further ado, let's dive deep into it. All right, so get started with Microsoft Copilot. So I am Dave, and here is my motto: learn Excel the modern way. And more recently, it's more like learn Copilot and AI the modern way. So here we are. Why are we here? Because this is a Google search about jobs that I did, and I just wrote prompt engineer job. What is a prompt? It's a request that you made to AI, and you can see here on this website that they're looking for a lot of prompt engineers. The goal with today is not that you become an AI pro or a prompt engineer, is just to highlight the fact that a few days ago, this search was actually on June 11, there was many jobs offered to people that were AI gods, let's say it like that, okay? And here we go, we have a company here in Toronto offering 70K to 150K a year to a prompt engineer. Let that sink in a second. It is actually insane. This is the AI era, and this is actually why we're here. This is another website. This is Indeed. And look at these salaries: 5,000 euros per month for a prompt engineer in generative AI. So that's why we're here. And here is an article from Computer World saying that Microsoft invested more than 13 billion in generative AI, which is their tool, Microsoft Copilot, that was called Bing Chat before, and they renamed it to Microsoft Copilot. So I hope you know why you're here now. But first, let's start with who am I, why you should listen to me right now. So I am David 14. I am a CPA. I got experience into a big four accounting firm, which means making a lot of hours, working a lot of hours. I had clients in the construction field and clients in the financial services as well. This is me traveling on the plane. As you can tell, I've been working a lot, all in the Microsoft sphere, the Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, Microsoft OneNote, and all these tools, and now Microsoft Copilot. I worked in the tech industry as well, where I was managing budgets for more than $200 million in video games. And more recently, we raised 30 million in venture capital for a software as a service company I was working for, so still in the tech company. And we sold this company for more than $200 million. All of this using Excel and PowerPoint. I wish that ChatGPT and Microsoft Copilot would have been more present back then. But now what I do more recently is I do YouTube videos, and as you can see at the top here, these are the thumbnails of some of my videos. So I focus on Microsoft Copilot right now and a little bit on Microsoft Excel. I just feel that there's so much knowledge to share, and this is the future, and I want people to use AI in the best way possible. This is a picture of one of my videos that is a Microsoft Copilot tutorial that has been watched by more than 21,000 people right now, and I'm pretty proud of it. So this is what I'm doing, 9 to 5 video filming. The agenda for today. So first, we will talk about the AI foundations. So what is Microsoft Copilot? What is an LLM? We'll get through some definition. This is probably the most boring part of this live webinar, but trust me, it gets better with time. It's like wine, it ages and it gets better with time. All right, so second, I'll give you a little bit more on Copilot, what compares to with ChatGPT, which you may know already. And then I'll do a live demonstration. I'll go to copilot.microsoft.com. We'll show you what's possible to do with this magnificent tool. And then we will have a Q&A section. It should last a little bit less than an hour. Here we are. So what is AI? So artificial intelligence is the computer science field that simulates human intelligence to solve problems and perform tasks. So basically, one very current example that you actually know is AI. When you do a credit card transaction, it is actually AI, the process of approval. And also when you open YouTube or Spotify or even Netflix, and it suggests you some recommended videos or recommended songs, it is actually a form of AI. So it isn't really new, right? What is actually new is the generative AI. So that's a new trend. It's capable of generating text, images, or other media in response in response to prompts. So you just talk to AI. It's like a little Harry Potter. That's why Harry Potter popped here. It's almost magic, right? You just type stuff in there and it gives you a crazy example based on LLM. So what's the risk with that is that now your grandmother is even capable of using AI. So that's really dangerous because it just opened the world of opportunities to us with just using natural language. And we all have these confidentiality issues, IP issues. I won't get too much into details here. So yeah, that is what is generative AI and how does generative AI works. It is based on a large language model. Okay, let's just call it a dictionary. It's a comprehensive model that provides various answers derived from extensive information. In other words, it's a large dictionary. It was fed information and then it learned many, many, many things from this information, and it can now generate answers based on the words that you ask it. So Gen AI in a nutshell, it's a machine that predicts the next word based on your previous word. So if you say hello, the AI is going to tell himself, is going to look in its dictionary and say, what's the next word coming after hello? It's probably how. And then what's the next word after how? It's probably are. So hello, how are you? So it looks at its dictionary like that, and it tries to provide you the best response possible based on your prompt. So basically, it's in a nutshell. I like to compare it with like a crystal ball. It's just going to forecast the next word that it thinks is logical in there. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but of course, I just want to simplify it. I'm not an AI expert that much. It just came out just like everyone. I'm just reading a lot on the topic and just fascinated by it. So if I want to illustrate it with two images, it is a big dictionary. So the big dictionary is actually the large language model. What is a large language model? It's one type of dictionary. I'll get back to this a little bit later. And this dictionary, you have a little Albert Einstein in your basement. I stole this analogy from a video I watched recently, and the guy was saying you have a little Albert Einstein in your basement and he's never tired of looking at in his dictionary. So you ask him a question, hey, I have an injury, Mr. Dr. Albert Einstein, what should I do? It's going to open his medicine book and look at your injury. If you want an Albert Einstein that is a pro in marketing or a pro in accounting or a legal advisor, of course, don't replace AI by a legal advisor. That's not what I'm saying. You can ask as much questions as you want, and it never gets tired. So that's the beauty of the little Albert Einstein. Or what I should say is actually the Albert Einstein is your Microsoft Copilot, so your AI, generative AI chatbot, while it's fed by an LLM, a dictionary. So that's basically how I see it. Basically, just a simple analogy. And you can also compare Copilot as a magic box. So you'll ask it to draft emails, draft poem or songs, or brainstorm ideas for your next school party or office party, or how should I do XYZ. So it's a magic box. But watch out, it's not so magic. You are a wizard, Harry, but not that much of a wizard. And you will understand why I say this. So please, 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 when you use AI, keep your professional judgment, critical judgment, and don't take anything for granted. AI is doing mistakes, and even Copilot, when you prompt it, it tells you the bottom, AI is making mistakes and blah, blah, blah. Please don't take this for granted. So please, it is not 100% accurate. You probably know it by now, but it's not that magic. All right, so I'd like to know in the chat, just feel free to type in the chat. I'll have a look at the comments and I'll adapt my presentation. So who knows ChatGPT, which is the chatbot from OpenAI, is going to get me a starting point for my presentation. Okay, so I have someone saying, I know ChatGPT, I haven't used it much. I use ChatGPT every day. I have ChatGPT on my cell phone. Okay, so we have some people, I don't know ChatGPT. We have some people in the chat that knows ChatGPT. Will help me to talk to you a little bit more about Microsoft Copilot. So this is Microsoft Copilot to the left here and ChatGPT to the right. So the first difference between the two, and I will be pretty quick about that, is the company. So Microsoft is making Copilot, so you probably all know Microsoft. They do Outlook, OneNote, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, name it, and probably your Windows operating system on your computer, right? When we have a more recent company that's called OpenAI that actually launched the ChatGPT chatbot. And OpenAI is actually the company behind the large language model. So we remember the dictionary of Copilot and ChatGPT. So that's where it's a little bit inception. So OpenAI, they created a large language model, which is GPT 3.5, which is an older version of their LLM. And it actually made a partnership with Microsoft, and it told them you can use our model or dictionary into your tool being Copilot. Your dictionary is OpenAI that made it and sold it, some kind of deals, I don't know the behind the scenes, to Copilot. So what's cool is that Copilot is using GPT-4 and ChatGPT is using 3.5, and it is actually on the free version. More recently, ChatGPT released GPT-4o, which is Omni, but you can only do a few questions, a few prompts every day. So anyway, that's another topic. One very, very cool difference between the two is that Copilot doesn't have any knowledge limit. You can ask Copilot who won the Stanley Cup, and it's going to tell you the Florida Panthers yesterday that won the Stanley Cup. If you ask the same thing to ChatGPT, it won't be able to answer you. The knowledge limit is actually January 2022, and it might change. I'm even wondering if it didn't change so far. So basically, what I see Copilot very useful so far is that first, they tell you that it's the same security as their Microsoft data security. I don't want to talk too much about that because I'm not really sure. And if you don't want something to leak, you should not put it in the AI tool, of course. The second thing why I see Copilot very useful is that knowledge limit. And the third thing is that when you use the free version, you get a more recent version of the language model, which means more performance. So the GPT-4 for Copilot and the GPT 3.5 for ChatGPT. So I just want to do a quick analogy here. We have Petit Larousse, which is a French dictionary here. So that's the 1993 version. So I like to compare the GPT 3.5 to this Petit Larousse dictionary. So just an older version, less words into it, less memory, less fast. And then you have the GPT-4. So right now, GPT-4 is free when you use Microsoft Copilot, and it's 3.5 when you use ChatGPT after a few prompts using GPT-4o. So that's the large language model, and don't worry, we're almost done with the theory. We're going to jump in the tool very, very soon. So what is a Copilot? For Microsoft, a Copilot is anything that has AI integrated. We saw recently Copilot for finance, we saw Copilot for sales, Copilot for services, which is actually some large language model that Microsoft are creating and packaging for you. Like, hey, this is a Copilot trained for sales. This is a large language model trained for sales, and they packaged it in a tool. But today we're going to talk about Microsoft Copilot, and I want you to be very, very attentive right now because this is the issue I'm having right now. We have two versions of Copilot. We have the Copilot for individuals. So like me right now, I'm using Copilot for individuals. And we have Copilot for organizations, which come with a specific type of Microsoft 365 license. I won't get into too much details. And the main difference actually, let's start with Copilot for individuals. So we have two versions. We have a free version. So as you may know, and this is actually what we're going to go through, both the free and the pro version have foundational capabilities. What does that mean? It's actually everything that I just told you. You have a chatbot that you can ask any question. draft me an email, draft me a marketing plan. So these are the foundational capabilities, the capability of analyzing images and all of that. Then we have the web grounding, like I told you with the Stanley Cup example, so no knowledge limit. We have a data protection that I don't want to talk too much about. If you don't want it to leak, don't put it in the AI. We have a priority model access, and that is the difference with the pro version. So when you pay, Copilot tells you you're going to run on the latest GPT model, but if you don't pay, we might lower you down. So basically you might run on 3.5. Anyway, not of a big deal. I think I think it's a big deal right now is actually when you pay for the pro version, you're actually going to have Copilot integrated in Outlook, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote. And I don't want you to think that it is amazing right now because it has just released. Yes, it can save you some time, but I think you can get away pretty good with just the free version of Microsoft Copilot. To be real honest with you, there are tons of features and I don't think you need to pay, but I see this evolving pretty decently in the near future, and I'll try to give you some examples in this presentation. What you get with the 365 is actually Copilot in Teams, so you can summarize your meetings and all of that. And you have the Microsoft Graph grounding, so this will let Copilot analyze your emails, your SharePoint document, and all of your business documents. So that's pretty cool. But today we're going to focus on Copilot for individuals because there's so much to say, and I don't want to go there for organizations yet. You have champions in your organization, I'm sure. Recently, Copilot announced that their custom Copilot GPT builder is gone. For most of you guys, it probably won't matter, so that's cool. And that's about it for Copilot, for the Microsoft Copilot features. So as you can see here, I took a screenshot of me building this presentation. It's a little bit Inception, but at the top, I have a Microsoft Copilot button because I am paying for the Microsoft Copilot Pro version. So here we go. In PowerPoint, I can click on this little button. All right, so let me do a very quick demo of Microsoft Copilot. So we are going to prompt copilot.microsoft.com 4 things. We're going to ask him to craft a marketing plan for me. We're going to ask to draft a professional email. We're going to ask the HR best practices, and we're going to ask it to draft a contract. This is only 4 ideas. I tried to take them in different fields, but of course you can tailor it to your own needs. And we're going to copilot.microsoft.com, which is absolutely free. All you need to do is actually log in with your Microsoft account. So we are in copilot.microsoft.com here, and I just want to get real quick through the interface real quick. So we have Copilot, your everyday AI companion. To the top here, you have some option that I honestly never use, so don't really bother about this. But what's really cool here is at the bottom is your recent chat history. So if you make a prompt, which is a question you ask to Copilot, you can go back and you can click on it and it goes back to your prompt. So when I write LinkedIn posts, when I write emails, I already gave context to Copilot. I often go here to my recent chat history. Other than that, it gives you some ideas here with the images that I don't actually use a lot, but what's really important is that it says here, Copilot uses AI, check for mistakes. This is really important. I said it, and here we go. We are going to just ask a question to Copilot and we'll ask him, could you create a marketing plan? And then we are going to click on enter. And Copilot is doing its thing. It's looking through the web and it's telling me, here we go, here's a marketing plan. And it gives me a lot of things that I can put in my marketing plan. So if you have never used Copilot so far, this is what you can do. My prompt wasn't really good. It wasn't really detailed. It wasn't really specific, but it gave me a marketing plan. And what's cool with Copilot, it even tells me that I'm really bad at prompting right now and I don't know how to use AI. It tells me This is a high level view of what a marketing plan might include. Depending on your specific business, product, or service, you may need to adjust or add more details. Will you like, will you like to dive deeper into any of these sections? And then Copilot suggests me some prompts. How do I create a budget for my marketing plan? What are some effective online channels? But still, with only a few words, it started me a solid, very generic marketing plan, which can give me idea. And actually I can say, oh, I forgot about this. So let's add it in. So for the rest of this presentation, I don't want to do live prompting because I think it's going to be way more effective if I just go back to my pre-prepared example here in my PowerPoint. So this is the prompt. I prepared this yesterday. Could you create a marketing plan? And it gives me a marketing plan outline. So this is a really bad prompt because it is not specific. It is too general. So the first thing you might want to learn when using the AI tool is that you need to be specific. So here we go. What I said to Copilot is, boom, this prompt. I said, could you create a marketing plan for me? That's the goal. That's actually the same thing I just wrote to it. And then I added some context here. I work in a video game company. Could you adapt that marketing plan? I would love to have 6 very detailed steps and that you adapt the language for a company in the entertaining space. And then I have the expectation here. We will present the plan to an executive team, so it has to be sharp. So here we go. Copilot tells me, here's a 6 tailored step plan for your video game company. And it added a few video game really specific words here. So use data analytics to understand the player behavior and preference. Right here, it gave me an objective. So establish a unique identity within the gaming industry. And on the step 3, it talked about the game genres, platforms, PC, etc. So that's pretty cool. Now that we added context, now that we know how to prompt, you can let your imagination flow. But I just want to remember that this is a bad prompt and this is actually a way better prompt. Give context to Copilot. All right, the second example is actually the HR example. So I just wanted to put myself into the skin of someone that gets into an HR company. It's a small company and he has no one to brainstorm with. He doesn't know much about HR, or you just came out of school and you got a new job and you're like, oh my God, what will I do with this HR job? So you go into copilot.microsoft.com, and this guy, microsoft.copilot.com, it learned a lot about human resources via his LLM, via everything is available on the internet. So I just prompt Copilot once again with the same formula. I am a rookie in human resource management. I just got a new job and they asked me to implement the new best practices in terms of HR. So I just asked Copilot, can you help me with the first 5 things I will need to put in place? And here, I don't want to go through the details here, but it gave me 5 steps or 5 things as I asked him. First, bring the proactive workforce planning. Second, the streamlined recruitment and selection process. So a few things that I have to put in place, and I could have kept prompting and asked him, could you tell me more about the first step? Here is my specific situation and give me ideas on how to implement it. And what I love with Copilot compared to ChatGPT is that it cites, or it says, its sources. So at the bottom here, it tells me learn more, and it gave me 5 articles where I can actually click and go to the actual articles and read more on this topic. So it basically did a summary of these websites. All right, so this was actually a real use case that I used a few days ago because, as you might know or might not know, I make videos for some companies. That's actually one service that I offer, educational videos that I can host on your YouTube channel or my YouTube channel or wherever you want the videos. Anyways, so I asked Copilot, could you help me draft a contract? And then I gave it everything I needed to draft the contract. I'm a content creator. Here's my address. Here's the contract object, etc. And I asked at the end, can you make sure you cover basic contract clauses such as deliverables, usage rights, and payment terms? I'll review the rest. And of course, this doesn't replace a lawyer, but it can maybe save you a few hours of a lawyer, and you know it costs a lot. So here we go. Copilot actually gave me this agreement. So as you can see, very summarized agreement, 9 points. It gives me everything I need, I think, to get a good draft started out. I can copy and paste this to Word and keep going from there. But I didn't stop there, and this is the beauty of AI. I knew that this contract was maybe a little bit too summarized, too short. So I asked Copilot, could you add way more to it so I'm sure I'm protected? And as you can see here, it actually divided this section 3 between 3 bullet points, and this compensation as well between 3 other bullet points. So it gave me way more information, way more thorough contract. So that was actually amazing. All right, so that was my 4 examples. If you have questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. I will voice over a video here that I recorded yesterday. Once again, I didn't want to do a live presentation of it in PowerPoint. I mean, if we had more time, we could. I want to be mindful of your time. And I think this is the best way to show you what to do or what to not do and what's the possibilities of Copilot in PowerPoint. Remember that I paid the Pro version 20 US per month for this. And I want to actually show you what's possible. So I'll just remove my camera and I'll voice over the video. It's less than 2 minutes. All right, so I'm going to hit play here, and I'm going to click on the top on Copilot, and at the right, I will have a pane, a Copilot pane that is opening in PowerPoint. And I'll just ask Copilot, could you make a presentation about David Fortin, a CPA that runs the YouTube channel Piggy Bank Accounting? And here I want to highlight that is really important to prompt properly. As you can see here at the top, I had some pre-made custom instructions. So create a presentation about. I should have clicked to it. And this is the importance of knowing how to prompt, because as you can see, Copilot tells me I don't recognize that wording as something I can do. So I really had to use the exact words to get this prompt right. And I actually asked, create a presentation about David Fortin, and then I sent my prompt. Copilot is working. This is real time right now. I'm not accelerating anything. It actually taking a few seconds, I will say maybe 20 to 30 seconds before Copilot is generating my PowerPoint. And you will see that it isn't perfect yet. It just released and it's going to create a 10 slides PowerPoint like I just asked. And here we go. We have David Fortin 40 years from now with actually some white hair. So it put some random images and it actually did a presentation overview with some information that is actually completely wrong. It just generated some random information. So I see it more like a mock-up that I can start actually using in my Copilot in PowerPoint. So it just started a great draft, let's say it like that. And it gives me some background on David Fortin. I actually had a look to all of this information and most of it was actually completely false. It tells that I have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is pretty cool. And it gave me 10 slides as I asked before. So that's pretty much it for Copilot in PowerPoint. I think it can be pretty cool if you have a research to do on a specific topic. But to be honest with you, if you want it to be 100% accurate, it isn't on point so far. So I want to keep going and tell you some other example where Copilot was not so magical. So I have another prompt here that I made. I asked Copilot, could you help me create a matrix evaluation criteria? I want 3 levels from beginner to advanced as columns. I want to evaluate my team as a boss. And on the rows, I want you to highlight the competencies of a great accountant, which a great accountant should have, such as technical skills, soft skills, etc. I want at least 5 competencies. So it can be really cool to start with a draft. The first thing Copilot gave me this, so really like bullet points format. I didn't want this format. So I asked Copilot, can you present it as a matrix format? And it told me, certainly, here's the competency matrix for accountants formatted as a table. So here we go, pretty cool. That's some of the things that AI can do, transform your data into matrix. And as you can see, it respected my prompt, 3 levels, five competencies on the left. Pretty cool, right? So I asked Copilot, can you add 2 more levels and also 5 more competencies? So Copilot told me, certainly, let's expand the matrix by adding 2 more levels, novice and expert, and including additional competencies. So it added this level here, the left column, and the very far right column here. As for the competencies, it didn't add any competencies. So it told me that it was doing it and it didn't. So I just told AI, hey, I gave it feedback. That's really important, right? I said, you have added 2 more levels, which is fine, but you didn't add any more competencies. Can you add competencies such as Excel skills? The beginner level will be use Excel on a weekly basis and know basic function. I said, please fill the matrix with 5 more competencies like the one I just gave you. And once again, AI is not perfect. It added this Excel skills competency, but still didn't understand the 3 or 4 more competencies I wanted. I could have kept prompting and eventually have my result. Still very faster than starting from scratch and putting everything in Excel and wasting my time. I have it handy right here. So I'm pretty satisfied. It's not perfect. It just came out, I can't believe, in 2 years from now. So that was essentially the content I wanted to cover today. But one more thing, I want to offer you a present. My course, Copilot Essentials from AI Beginner to Proficient course, just released, and I think this is amazing. I normally sell it for 150 US, but today I want to sell it for 75. The content I cover in this course is actually, we're going to do an explanation a little bit more deeper than what I did today of what is Copilot. Then we're going to compare the free and the pro version. We're going to go through all of the features that you get with both versions. You don't need the pro version to follow this course. Just with the free version, you're going to have a ton of value. Then I'm going to give you some Copilot housekeeping rules because we never have the reflex of using the AI, right? That's, I think, the most difficult thing is to think about using it, right? Then we're going to jump into the prompt school. I'm going to teach you how to prompt. I'm going to give you exercise and quizzes on how to prompt properly. We're going to go over Copilot do's and don'ts so you get the best results. I'm going to show you how to replace Google with Copilot. And then we're going to get through some prompt examples. Of course, there's more than just 2 prompts. We're going to show you how to generate images with DALL-E. I'm going to show you how to use Microsoft Copilot in Edge to summarize videos such as meetings that you had with your boss or colleagues. I'm going to show you how to summarize PDFs so you don't have to go through all these 50 pages when you have a deadline in 20 minutes, right? And then we're going to use the Copilot voice memo feature. And once again, this is not all of the content. This is only a few items of the content. And as you can see, this is very high production quality. These are just the thumbnails of my videos. I spent hours and hours inquiring people what they want to know, which curriculum do they want in this course, and actually I really think the result is amazing. Then we're going to dive deep a little bit into the Microsoft Copilot 365 apps. Again, this is the paid version of Copilot. You don't need it, but I just wanted to show you what's possible to do right now. And of course, I'll keep updating as we go, as we get more and more updates on the tool. And of course, there are other apps and other content. And of course, it is a video course because that's what I do best. But you will have some PDF to support your learnings, so you can download these PDF. I call it the Copilot Resource Guide. So you have a lot of infographics. First one being the Copilot cheat sheet, which has been downloaded by more than 500 people to this date. So I'm really proud of this one. It gives you in a nutshell what you can do with Copilot and the use cases. I really do love this cheat sheet, and I think a lot of you guys love it as well. Then we have Copilot Explain to Kids, where I use analogy so you're able to explain it to people at your office as well. And then we have the Microsoft Copilot 10 use cases to speed up your productivity. So just a quick ebook to give you more ideas and even go a little bit more advanced on how you can use Copilot. And then you have different other infographics. I think you have the role of 8 infographics in this course. And I really do think that you should grab this Copilot 50% course rebate right now, because it is going away in 24 hours. So who is this course for? It is for professionals that want that are actually currently beginners with AI and want to become proficient with AI. If you've been using AI for days, for years, I would say, or months, and you've been really nerdy about it and you watch everything about AI, I don't think you're going to learn much in this course. So I really want to be transparent with you. The last thing I want is you buying something that you thought was not right. So that's my main goal here. And I have 14-day money back guarantee on all of my courses. If you don't like the course, if that's not what you thought, just hit me up, ask for a refund. I'll give it to you. I don't care what's the reason behind. If you follow the whole course, you're not satisfied, click refund, and that will be instant refund, no question asked. Okay, so that's my guarantee. I really believe in the quality I'm making. So what are the learning objectives of this course? It is to gain a comprehensive understanding of what AI is. It is to understand what is Microsoft Copilot and how it functions as an AI tool. But more importantly, it is to develop the skill crafting effective prompts for Copilot. So apply Copilot to draft emails, utilize Copilot for decision making, and leverage Copilot to prepare for important meetings. But you know, AI isn't always magic. So I want you to as well understand the limits of Microsoft Copilot. And of course, we're going to analyze how Copilot can be applied in specific 365 apps.